Good morning, everyone. This is a very bleak, slightly drizzly fall morning here in central Georgia. I've been camping out down here this weekend again, but I spent most of the day yesterday hiking around looking for diamondbacks yet again and did not see a single living herp. It was brutal. So I'm coming out of the woods this morning and I think I'm gonna go hit some creeks and try to do some dip netting and maybe turn up some water dogs, and really anything else we can find would be cool. But it's really not going to warm up much today. It's going to be kind of bleak and overcast and cold like this, so not much point in trying for snakes. All right, guys, here's the creek we're going to be dipping into. It's cold, and I got to get to those leaves that are in some pretty deep water. All right. I don't see any floppers yet. Scoop number 2. Woo. We get one in here, which I don't think we are, because normally they're flopping everywhere when you pull them up. And there is no life in this water. So that was the pack we just tried. Nothing in that. But this one's even bigger. Hopefully that'll be the money. Look at all those leaves. Oh, big dog. Look at that. Did you get that on film?
Yeah. I think so.
Yes. Let's see if we can find this bad boy. Shouldn't be too hard since he was a couple inches long. There he is. Look at that. That is so cool.
Wow. That's awesome.
Isn't that the coolest thing?
Spots are the best.
So last time we saw these guys, they were actually not described yet. And since we found them last, they have been described as their own thing, the Apalachicola water dog, Necturus molari. And these guys can be found throughout the Apalachicola River drainages. And you can see that is just one of the coolest looking animals you will ever find. I love them to death. So we're gonna get a couple pictures real quick and maybe see if we can scoop up another one. Nobody. All the mug needs to go back in the water. Alright guys, so it seems like this is the only water dog we're going to find today without putting in a considerable amount more effort, and I am already very cold and wet. So I think we might just settle with this, but that is really cool. Look at that. So if you don't know too much about water dogs, these guys are permanently aquatic salamanders. Their closest relatives are the sirens, which are also fully aquatic. And these guys spend the winters in these leaf packs in the creek, where they're largely safe from big fish and other predators. Not to mention those leaf packs stay a little bit warmer in that cold winter water. But absolutely amazing little salamanders. Unfortunately, they are a bit of a pain to get good video of because they are fully aquatic, so this is pretty much the best we can get without an underwater rig. And this species is actually a little bit small. I'm not sure how big they get. Supposedly they can get a little bit bigger than this, but both of the big ones I've seen have been about this size. He's maybe 2 or 3 inches. But fantastic little salamanders. Dip netting is always fun, even if it involves getting a little uncomfortably wet. But I'm probably going to call it a day at this guy. This was the big thing I was hoping to see. And we've got some warm weather coming later in the week, so I'll probably see you guys then. Good evening, everyone. Happy December. November is my least favorite month of the year, and I'm very glad that it's over. Because now that it's December, I actually feel like I have a better chance at finding stuff, just based on history. Historically, December has been a very good month. However, we definitely have to work for our finds, so it's going to be busy over the next couple of weeks as we try to find snakes during basically midwinter. But the weather has been pretty nice and warm. Last time you saw me, guys, it was not nice and warm, and we have a lot of nice and warm weather coming up. So hopefully I'll be able to wrap up this video either today or tomorrow. I'm going to see what I can scrounge up here at the house, and then the next 3 days or so, I'm going to be hitting it really hard, seeing what I can turn up. I think I just saw on a knoll. Yep, there he is. There's our first herp of December, and he is gone. I'm going to flip through the rest of this real quick and see if there's any snakes hanging out. There's that guy again. Decent look at him. It's a good sign. Reptiles are up today. All right, I'd say if we're going to see a snake today, this is where it's going to be as usual. So that's not a good sign. Well, there's our next herp of the day. I had a hunch it would be a rock flipping type of day today, but I wasn't sure. That's a good sign though. Nice marbled salamander right here. I'm gonna try to record flipping a few rocks and see if we can get something on camera, but very nice. Handsome little marbled salamander. Look at this little guy. That is a very, very freshly born little northern slimy salamander. Come here, buddy. But yeah, this little guy is a newborn little northern slimy salamander. Very interesting. All right, flip a couple more rocks here. Ants under that one. Nothing under that one. Oh, that was a good flip. 2 skinks and a marbled salamander. Now these guys are probably brumating based on the fact that they're kind of tucked in there. I'm not sure that's the best spot because it looks like plenty of cold air is going to be blowing into there because it's almost completely exposed. But this little guy, we're going to pull out real quick. We're going to try to leave the lizards where they are. There's yet another little marbled salamander. These two that we flipped today are not quite adults. They're kind of like in the juvenile teenage stage. I'm guessing these guys probably metamorphed out last year and are not quite old enough to be moving down to the breeding ponds yet. So I'm just going to leave this guy to it, put him back under his log with his lizard buddies. Tires can be good for something sometimes. Not today. Oh, four-toed. Very nice. Look at that guy. We see these guys on the road all the time, but it's kind of uncommon to flip them. We saw a lot last winter, but I think last winter was definitely the best we've had for them in terms of finding them in habitat. But really cool, really unique salamanders. This looks like an adult male, and I'm guessing within the next couple of rains we have, he will be making his way down this hill, and you can kind of see there's a little bit of a creek floodplain down there where I'm assuming he will breed. These guys are definitely not as lively when you find them during the day as they are at night. But still, very awesome salamanders. We're gonna let him crawl back under his rock. Now, historically, I have found snakes under these pretty much in the middle of winter when it's cold out. There's a lot of good underground access, and the snakes will come up on warmer days. So, kind of what I was hoping for today. There's another skink and another baby slimy salamander. All right, we got a couple of big rocks here. These can be good for snakes, but they're normally better for slimy salamanders. And nobody today. Oh, there we go. Like I said, good for slimy salamanders. Very nice. The first, actually I saw another adult, but he went down a hole. That is the first adult northern slimy we've seen so far today. Pull him out real quick. Move him out of the way. Oh, 2 marbled salamanders. Very nice. In a burrow. That's very cool. Lots of those guys out today. Quick little log roll produced yet another little marbled salamander. Look at that guy. These guys have definitely ruled the day, which is nice to see because it is their time of year. Very little else will start breeding until we get into, I guess, around New Year's, maybe Christmas time. So these guys kind of own the stage for the next couple weeks. These and 4-toed salamanders, at least. A lot of times these ones leaning up against the trees are a little better for snakes. There's a scorpion for the scorpion viewers. It's a nice ball of scorpions. Oh yeah, there we go. What on earth? There has been a lot of marbled activity today. It's normal to see 1 or 2 just about any time I flip these rocks, but I think we're at probably around double digits now, I think. And we've had 2 double flips alone that I can remember. Look at that. That's a pretty one. 2 pretty ones, really. Very cool. I'm just gonna gently lower this rock and keep flipping. This board actually had a marbled under it last time. And yep, right there in the same spot. All right, guys, well, we're losing light and the snakes do not seem to be up in any numbers today. Normally flipping that stuff this time of year would produce at least something. I think the overnight lows are to blame for that. It has been fairly cold at night. We've had several consecutive freezes. Hopefully the warmer weather of the next few days will bring stuff out in better numbers. Like I said, I'm gonna be getting out over the next couple days and hitting it pretty hard. So if stuff's out, hopefully we'll find it. But I'm gonna wrap up today here and I will see you guys tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. Today is forecasted to be an unseasonably warm December day, as are the next couple of days. But I'm out here today just trying to at least find a couple of snakes to wrap this video up. I'm in an area that has been pretty good in the winter historically and early spring, just to see common snakes, but there is also a chance that we could see a king snake or a hognose or something like that out here too. So I'm gonna plan on spending most of the day hiking around this creek system and just seeing what all I can turn up. There's a sign of reptilian life, a green anole. We saw one yesterday, I guess, though, but he was under 10. This guy's actually out in the open. Well, it is straight up warm out here, so if we don't find these snakes today, something is wrong. And we're in perfect habitat, too. More signs of reptilian life. Another green anole. I think that is a very good sign, but we're gonna find out. There are anoles everywhere, but no snakes. Like I said, all over the place. Where are the snakes at? Come on. Well, it's evident snakes exist. This actually looks like it could be a king snake shed. Also possibly a racer, but smooth scales, dark snake, king snake, or a racer, almost certainly. I could be wrong, but I think this is the first one of these we've seen this. Whoa! Easy, bud. I think this is the first one of these we've seen this winter. This is a little southern redback salamander. I know we saw a bunch of Webster salamanders, but I think that's the first redback of the winter. Certainly won't be the last, though, so I'm just gonna let him crawl back under his rock. Hopefully we'll find a prettier one later today. That one was kind of drab. Here's a slightly better looking redback. I've actually never really thought of this species as a floodplain species. I never really see them in this habitat, so it's kind of weird. Creek's right there, and then it's just this open hardwood forest. But yeah, nice little southern redback salamander. Second one of the day. This one's got a little more color to him. Pretty good looking little guy. But I'm just gonna leave him right there. So we haven't done terribly well today, and there's one big reason that I can think of why. You can see this creek is super low. It's been very dry. And a lot of times the best snake hunting weather in the winter comes with rain fronts. Without those rain fronts and those clouds to keep it nice and warm at night, it's hard to get overnight temperatures any higher than the 40s this time of year. And while snakes will be out after basically any weather, it's just there's a lot of factors that go into whether or not they'll be out. And then there's a lot of luck that goes into actually finding the ones that are out. So it can be a very frustrating endeavor. It's actually starting to get kind of late in the afternoon. I think it's about 2 right now, which means we probably only have 2 more hours of light. And as you can see, it's kind of already crappy. Unless we can find some super open creek banks where we might can see an Arodia or a queen snake basking, but I've hit most of my reliable areas for those already and have not seen anything, unfortunately. So we might resort to trying to get a couple salamanders in here to finish the video. But I am going to keep walking this creek and hope that we can find a nice sunny exposed bank with lots of holes in it where stuff could potentially be poking out from brumations. So I'm out in this super dry floodplain right now. Normally, I mean, I've never seen this without water like this. And I thought maybe this is a good opportunity to try to observe some marbled salamanders on eggs. Since being this dry, the eggs probably haven't hatched yet. And sure enough, I had a hard time actually finding a log on the ground. You can see a lot of these are kind of floating. But once I did, there's a nice big marbled salamander with their eggs. Very nice. I'm gonna take some photos real quick and then we'll get a little more video. That is so cool. And sometime within the next couple weeks, when we finally get some more rain, those eggs are gonna hatch. You can see they're actually kind of big. I put my hand kind of next to them for scale. They're swollen up, which means those salamanders in there are probably developed and ready to pop out as soon as this gets filled with water, which will hopefully be sooner rather than later. All right, I took a few pictures. I'm gonna cover this girl back up and we're gonna see what else we can turn up. But very nice, marbled salamander on eggs. Only the 3rd salamander I think we've seen all day. 2 redbacks and this girl and all those little babies. And literally the next log I flip, yet another one on even more eggs. These are actually down in a nice little burrow. They're not just kind of under the log like that last one, but it's a smaller female and she's actually got really nice color on her. A couple of these over here look super likely, especially this one. Little flip. We're not. Interesting. And then under that one. Oh wait, that's an old nest. I guess she abandoned her eggs, assuming they aren't gonna hatch. That sucks to see. Most of this one's off the ground, but let's try it. Oh, yep, there we go. Look at that. Another nice female with eggs. Beautiful. All right, well, my fingers are crossed that it rains sooner rather than later for your sake and your babies. And sure enough, only a few seconds after I said it was weird we hadn't seen anything else, here is a nice little newt. Presumably this guy is also waiting for the pond to fill up so he can turn into his adult life stage and breed. But very nice, little eastern newt. Pulled this guy out since it's the first one we've seen today. This is a species that we get to see reproduce every spring in the vernal pools by my house, so really nice. Looking forward to seeing that again this year in the next couple of weeks. Check this out. Double newt. One of which is a lot prettier than the other one. This guy's still got some beautiful red spots on him. There's a big railroad tie. And another little dull redback. 3rd one of the day, I think. It's weird to find an area where these guys are just kind of around. They're usually everywhere or they're non-existent. Super strange. All right, guys, well, I'm probably gonna call it a day here. It's, well, it hasn't been the best, but at least we found some really cool salamanders over the course of the video. Starting off strong with that water dog and then finishing strong with some marbled salamanders on eggs this afternoon. Would have been really nice to see a snake. I really don't understand why we didn't. It was very unusual. But it definitely happens, so I'm looking forward to getting out again tomorrow, but that'll be in a different video, and hopefully we will actually be able to turn up some snakes. I'm going to a spot that's super reliable in the winter usually, and the weather is looking even better than the last 2 days. It's supposed to get up into the high 70s, so I think we have a good chance of seeing a rattlesnake next video, and maybe even some other stuff too. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow, but in the next episode.